84.
Hey.
The record high is 97 degrees,
What's going on?
which was
Where's my
set
friend?
in 1931.
I like listening to weather radio and acting like I'm his hype man.
65.
Yeah.
The record low is 45 degrees, which was set in 1903.
Hell yeah.
A trace of precipitation fell today, which
Woo!
brings the monthly total
This is
to
what I'm going to do for the old school.
0.02 inches.
Let me pass this on. So I have a hardware radio scanner here. We're going to do a bunch of radio stuff. I cannot load this in YouTube Studio, by the way, so I have no idea if this stream's even working. There's a nice 2-meter. All right, there we go. It is working. My vocal mic is a little low. It's peaking almost. Yeah, we got orange lights over here. Maybe I could turn this down a little bit. I mean, I wanted it to be improved. You know, you got to give, when you're a hype man, you have to give the main mic level to the person that you're hyping. So today, this isn't the first stream of this sort that I've done, but I have a little bit of reverb on this. Oh, that was from IKEA furniture store. I'm gonna have to, when I use the hardware scanner, I'm just gonna have to read out. That is air traffic control. I'm just going to have to read things out, but we will be using the SDR stuff as well. I have 2 different radios here. I'm going to answer this question right in the beginning for anybody who's wondering. I'm using an AirSpy Plus SDR. I'm using a RTL-SDR, so 2 SDR units. I have a powered antenna up on my roof. I have 2 different antennas here. One is a dipole, and then one's just a long one connected to this SDS 100, which is a unit in trunking radio. That really sounds like shit when it's coming out. I've never listened to it with headphones before. I've only just had it like mounted in a car. So, yeah, lots of radio stuff. That's a bus. So, I also have this, which... I mean, that's why we're here. We like snooping on this stuff. Maybe I need it. So, I also have this. This is a Meshtastic node that I made for like a few dollars. But plus, you know, I feel like I'm still hearing this coming out of the radio or something. Anyway, I'm lost right now. So, yeah, this is a Meshtastic node, which I'm going to do a video about. It's going to be about a bunch of things, but the Meshtastic node's one of them. And this is kind of like, to put it very simply, it's a decentralized data network that runs on existing radio repeaters and their own nodes. You could set up nodes that are solar powered. So essentially, I could text people via Bluetooth from my phone without needing a cell phone network, which is pretty rad. And I've not really tested it that much, but it's something that I'm very excited about. And I feel like I have enough radio antenna stuff going on right now for an unrelated project that, you know. So right now we're using the SDS 100, and I just have this little analyzer.
This hazardous weather outlook is for North and Central Georgia. For this afternoon and tonight,
yeah, I kind of like the idea of going back to radio. I'll avoid this for now. Yeah, and this SDS 100, man, it is not easy to use. It is not user-friendly. I mean, it's very user-friendly for someone who's into radio and somebody who uses it, but it is incredibly unintuitive. It took me weeks of driving around with it sort of next to me to be able to actually know what's going on and go through all the systems. We got Coca-Cola. Yeah, this is a shopping mall playing some noise. Anyway, so I figured I'd just start with that because there are trunking radio apps, but they're just not that. We could look at one. That's a fire department. I'll load one up really fast. Yeah, so anytime you see PowerShell, you know it's going to be... Yeah, so this is a trunking radio, and if you hook it up to radio reference, you get to look at all the channels, but oops. You have to stop these first. Two different tuners through this.
Just for informational purposes, you can just register this in the line. But Julio, Andre, where did that even come from? I don't know. Andre is welcome to check in as a guest on tonight's net. Now, if Julia is even willing to entertain playing on the radio tonight, she may be enjoying her time
I hope
with
Julia
her
is.
son to the point where she's not going to come and play at radio. Julie does that frequently. We've got family at home, and I can count her out for coming out here and doing nerdy stuff.
This is a family radio
We're going
service.
to give you a break on this one, and Julia is off the hook, but appreciate how regular you guys are always checking in. Thank you for that. With that in mind, let's go ahead and continue with check-ins from any repeater, anywhere, including the flagship machine. This is the point where we often get our doubles and our triples and 7 people trying to check in at the exact same moment. So, key the microphone and say this as, and then unkey.
This is
And
insane.
listen just for a bit. And if you don't hear anything, go ahead and finish your check-in. But if you do hear someone trying to make a check-in, hold your traffic and start over once they finish. And if you do that, we don't have as many doubles. We still get some, and every now and then we get 2 people that say this as, and unkey.
I
and
love
unkey
this,
again.
and I also
And
think
they
it's
do it
annoying
at the
at the same
exact same
time.
timing. It's happened more than once.
I'm like
And
jealous
it
that
could
I'm not a
happen again
member of
tonight,
this
we'll
little
see.
radio
But,
powwow
help us
that they're
out, slow
having.
down just a little bit.
And these
And
aren't
make
ham
check-ins from
operators.
any repeater,
These are just normal
including the
little like
flagship machine next door.
$15
Anyway.
Amazon radios.
WROB 245 Atlanta 849. Camera in the room, mobile at the moment, and by the relay, Atlanta 848. Ernest in the room at home base.
Hey, Viral Beats.
WRQW 647, Atlanta 637. This is David Kennesaw. Please check me in. Check me out.
Okay, that guy's far. Kennesaw's pretty far from here. Yeah, I have the Hack RF and the RTL one here.
WRJ 895, Atlanta 25.
Do you have the Portapack? The Hack RF Portapack? That thing's quite fun.
County is 60, WFC 494. Colton, Belleville North, over here. Atlanta 250, and I forgot to relay in Gainesville 58. He's on his way home and doesn't
Let
have
me
a radio.
manually go to this channel.
You have to relay it.
462.
Chattanooga 24. I'll be in and out. Have a good day.
Oops.
Yeah. CW40, WRX 752, Rubber Nixon. I'm checking in and out. Have a good day. Yeah. WS, HX 652, Gainesville 63, Willard and Homer. I'll be checking in and out. Y'all have a good night.
Weirdly, this must just be...
Gainesville 285, WRKN 234. Hey, George, Victor Smith in Burrillville, Georgia. Checking in and out by way of relay, Gainesville 286, WRKN 234, Lynn in Burrillville, Georgia. Checking in and out. We'll be listening as best we can. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, there they are.
Mm-hmm. 952. Night number 22. Tempest upgrades. Check me in.
Hey, Reject Convenience. And hey, Charles Randall. Reject Convenience. You should know something.
This is WRVR 303.
I don't know if it's loud.
30, Jonathan and Nixon, Tennessee.
Pretty loud. Or mute it for a sec. 2 people that I've spoken to in relation to a potentially illegal, very deep investigative journalism video that I'm like in pre-production on, and just speaking to a lot of people and interviewing a lot of people and working with a lot of people. 2 of them, completely unrelated, have been like, have just recommended your channel. So that's pretty cool, because these people are like essentially whistleblowers. So it's like pretty awesome. I can't think of a better recommendation. You know what? Here's the problem. All right. If I bring this up to here. All right. There we go. Now I hear the same loudness that you do.
This is WRNW 488, Atlanta 532. Tom and Flowery Branch. I'll be checking in and checking out. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a great night, everybody. And then this should be... All right. I wonder if I could like EQ this to not sound so harsh and terrible, but...
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge what we have so far. We have Atlanta 849 Pamela in Duluth is Ian with us tonight. And by way of relay, Atlanta 848 Ernest in Duluth is Ian in out. Atlanta 637 Dave in Kennesaw is Ian in out tonight. Atlanta 250 Dana Grant of Mount Olympus is Ian tonight. Chattanooga 260 Colt in beautiful downtown Dalton, Georgia is Ian tonight.
This is just so bizarre.
Jonathan, Mr. Simplex, is on his way home with no radio. He's being relayed in from Dana, Atlanta 250. Chattanooga 24 Roy in Dalton is Ian in out. CW 40 Robert in Nicholson is Ian in out. Gainesville 63 Willard in Homer is Ian in out. Gainesville 285 Charlie Victor 2 times. CV from Moorville is Ian in out.
Charlie Victor 2 times.
Gainesville 286 Lynn in Moorville is Ian in out. Great to hear you again there, CV. Thanks for hanging out with us. Atlanta 454 Stephen in Lilburn and Atlanta 453 Janine also in Lilburn. See, that's another one of those power couples that
Yeah, I love that.
it just wouldn't be right, Steve.
I like really love that.
Check in without Janine.
That all this can happen without internet. Like that you could list that all these people are talking without any internet, without paying any bill to anything. Just I really like that. That's yeah. Charlie Victor 2 times is a good porn actor.
So Tim has McDonough 22. Tim has some history with NASCAR, and he's done some writing for various publications related to NASCAR, and
All right.
some very cool stories to tell. If you ever get a chance to sit down and listen to some of Tim's stories, I think you'll enjoy them. Tim is in with us tonight. Not Richard Childress Reese. I just made that up. You probably made that up. But still, that's cool. It's very cool. Chattanooga 30 Jonathan and Hickson is mobile and monitoring. Gainesville 44 Joseph in Cleveland is Ian in house. Atlanta 938.
This is like an IRQ bot, but an actual human who just does it.
Those are the check-ins we have. It's just a few more minutes before we take our breaks. We'll continue with early check-ins.
They take breaks.
Georgia GMRS Regional Net.
They take breaks between the check-ins. That's insane. This is still the same GMRS. Yeah. This is all live radio waves. I feel like I'm gonna leave this channel and move on away from the family radio service for a little while. Oh wow, it sounds like an old phone. Graham Packing. It's a business. Modeles International. We're going to avoid that. A lot of people just broadcast noise, and that's probably not legal. But, you know, I ain't no snitch. I sometimes see ICE on here. I don't actually get signal from them. I think it's encrypted, but it really makes me wonder. I really wonder how it would be encrypted, or how it would be decrypted. Yeah, yeah. GMRS is like if you just have one of those little, walkie-talkies, essentially. Okay, here's air traffic control for Fulton County Airport. So this is very close to me. Honestly, if I hooked up a Zoom, well, no, there's too many trees. In the winter, if I hooked up a Zoom lens, we'd be able to see all the planes landing. This is so frustrating. 121. Oh, interesting. It's really terrible quality, isn't it? Try and change the modulation, but nope, it's AM. It's like, so radio encryption is one of those things that just hasn't really been, I just feel like as hacking, as hacking for fun became more popular, I feel, ooh yeah, we got Atlanta police. Wouldn't that be funny if I had like a bit filter and I didn't realize it? Like I was like, oh, I have a low bit plugin on all of this. It's actually super clear. It sounds like a podcast. Okay, so this is a simulcast, which is so for people who don't know what a trunking radio is, it's digital and it's a way to store more stuff on one channel. And the trade-off is that it sounds terrible and is unrecognizable to hear. It's to tit for tat. Yeah, so something I was going to talk about earlier. If we go into, we could see like the phase one, like Civil Air Patrol is P25 phase one. Radio reference is really amazing for this. Actually, I wonder if I would have to, let's see if there's any sort of Cobb County type thing. Let's see if they're all encrypted. A lot of DeKalb County. I'm sort of in between counties. Yeah, it tells you right here what everything is. Okay, so yeah, the Project 25 is probably not encrypted if it's allowing you to just look into it. Although I can't tell. Yeah. Hmm. Sorry, going through the chat here. Yeah, that's okay. That's interesting. I'm really interested in the video. Like, I haven't gotten there quite yet, just because it never lines up with the stream. But I really want to catch a satellite. Not like in my hands, but like the NOAA satellites, and there's a lot of satellites that broadcast pictures of the Earth live from through radio waves, and you can actually pick it up and decode them like live satellite image, which is pretty rad. But I would love to try that. All right. Well, Atlanta PD said, oh, surveillance. And yeah, we can move on from this because I realize that we're not really doing much interactive exploring when we're using a database inside of a piece of hardware that I'm kind of scared to show you right now because I'll full screen it when I'm done just because I have like cables and antennas and yeah, where is pirate broadcasting mostly happening? Like that's I've not been able to really unless the religious stuff is pirate, which it could be. We've seen a lot of that in the past. The weird Yahweh. We'll hear that soon once I power up the shortwave antenna. You would think that surveillance would have an encrypted channel, but maybe they're just like surveying the trash outside or something. All right, give it one more round. This is still a bus. These bus people are really chatty. All right. Wow, that's Roswell. It picks up so far away. I mean, at least when I have it on hooked up to larger antennas. It's kind of crazy. Like you'll pick up like police scanners from like 100 miles away. Even on the trip that I was just on, I have an antenna on the top of my car. And yeah, I was picking stuff up from like faraway cities, especially when I got like way out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Oh. This is Coca-Cola that we're hearing. What is Coca-Cola doing? I need to look at this data. 4, 6, 1, 3. Okay. Well, Coca-Cola's fax is concluded. Georgia Bureau of Investigation. All right. It does make me wonder if...
Can you go to A division, please?
Still these bus drivers. Does make me wonder if you have much like immigration enforcement. Actually, I don't know how to just search for something like ICE. I guess search database would probably be how to do that. I've gotten Border Patrol before on the national. This is the nearby air traffic control again. Interesting. I mean, I'm sure they're not broadcasting without encryption. How rad would it be to set up a YouTube channel that just like interpreted radio signals and warned people? I don't see any in Georgia. It's P25. It's a repeater. 6625. $42 meters. That's a giant antenna. I can still get CB. It's really funny a lot. This guy's very repetitive. Yeah, especially out in the middle of nowhere, you just hear a lot of people just being like, hello, because like nobody uses it anymore. So you occasionally get people who are just like, hello, anybody, talk to me. I'm driving a truck and I'm bored. Understandable. All right, let's do this. Oh. Ooh. Train yards. So I was just in a train yard yesterday. I went to, I've been recording time lapses and been trying to record infrasound of infrastructure. And train yards are like the perfect place to do that, but train yards are also a great place to get hit in the head with a pipe for trespassing. So I found one. I just basically would drive up to a train yard and then like knock on the little trailer office door in it, and I've done this with a few of them, and just be like, hey, I'm just a scientist. I don't mean any harm. Can I just record some sounds? And they're usually like, no. One was like, yeah. So anyway, I was in a train yard and I was actually kind of like Ooh, maybe I'll tune into the radio from the truck while I'm waiting for these recordings to finish. And I don't know what anything means, so that was kind of useless. But yeah, this is an SDS 100. It's kind of the bee's knees. It's kind of like the only the SDS 100 or 200. The 200 is a mountable unit. They're kind of like the only usable, unless you live somewhere where there's analog scanner radio going on, which is like, Somalia. I don't know who still uses analog for police radio and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of the only one that still works these days. So I don't know which one to open here. Let's see. SDR Sharp. And we could actually, let's use this for, sorry, you can't see what I'm seeing. Let's use SDR, a different version of it that allows us to access two different radios. That way, and later on in the stream, we'll do a shortwave only one where I'll actually turn on the antenna power. Okay. So let's start off with the RTL. Okay. It's kind of crazy using an inside antenna. I don't know. This is the big TikTok radio. Yeah, we can't even pick that up with, we need our shortwave antenna for that.
3505, visibility 10, ceiling 7,000 broken, temperature 30, dew point 16, altimeter 3000. Expect visual approach runway 26, read back all runway, hold short instructions, including runway numbers. Quarter counter top 3 Zulu, wind 350 at 5, visibility 10, ceiling 7,000 broken, temperature 30, dew point 16, altimeter 3000. Expect visual approach runway 26, read back all runway, hold short instructions, including runway numbers. Eyes on the contact you have light.
If we crank this up. No.
Mike 2253 Zulu, wind 350 at 5, visibility 10, ceiling 7,000 broken, temperature 30, dew point 16, altimeter 3000. Expect visual approach runway 26.
Oh, thank you
back all runway, hold
for that. Congrats.
runway numbers. Eyes on the
I'm not sure what to make of it yet. I mean, I know what to make of your congrats. I'm thankful, but
Mike 2253
I'm
Zulu, wind 350 at 5.
trying to handle it responsibly.
Ceiling 7,000 broken, temperature 30, dew point 16, altimeter 3000.
I like how there's music going on. What's going on with the spectrum? It looks terrible. Squelch, squelch, where's my squelch? There we go. Let's change that theme. It looks quite terrible. I don't know why. Dark. Maybe it's just because the gain's high. No, it's still like way too nutty. Army green. Deep blue. Oh, this is everything else. We need to change the theme of the waterfall. Color map. There we go. Ugh. This is cool. I like this. It's pretty rad, actually. All right, let's move on.
Departure out to the northwest, and I've got Mike.
Okay, give me your call sign again.
21564.
And we should be able to
Room
reverse.
21564, runway 26, taxi via India. Wind 3503, altimeter 3001.
Got the wind to the altimeter, I'll taxi via India to runway 26, 21564.
This is an airport, obviously. Oh, Army. No, this is Fulton County. Okay, so this plane's coming in now. Maybe I could see it in the distance. Or leaving. I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was going to say that does sound quite clear. Turn my squelch down. Not much. This is FL Studio 2025 that we're using. No, this is SDR++. I like zooming in and like going through a sound. Good wavetable opportunities. Could probably make my bandwidth smaller, but
332 for 340.
that would be pretty rad if there was anything with that. You know, the Polyan tracker, I was like,
7 declining 10 sound.
I didn't have a huge relationship with Polyend when that came out. I mean, I was friendly with them, but I wasn't as friendly with them in terms of them being my friends. But I remember my only complaint was like, why is it not shortwave? Like why is it an AM/FM radio?
134.2, good day, Delta 26.5.
Because, you know, like you plug in a cable and like run it across the room. That's actually a way better shortwave antenna. There's way more interesting things, but I'm sure there's a good reason why it's not. It just sounds like an annoying Prius horn. Yeah, that's the Prius horn channel. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Weirdly, with the RTL SDR, I'm not as big of a fan as the noise as I am with the AirSpy. And the AirSpy is like a considerably better receiver that costs considerably more than the RTL. And the RTL is fine. I'm not saying don't buy that if you're interested in this. It is the deal of the century. It's quite amazing. Who likes ham? Yeah, like I feel like this noise would not be as prominent. Oh yeah, okay, so here's the polar orbiting satellite area, which we're probably not going to be able to hear. Actually, am I hooked up to the dipole? Oh, here. We might, nothing that'll get an image, but we might be able to hear this a little bit better if I switch to the AirSpy and dipole antenna. Apparently not. Could I theoretically hook an antenna up to my flipper and log similar outputs on the go? No, it's kind of a different thing. But you can buy a, if you wanted to, you could buy a, why is this drawing a blank? A Hack RF Portapack. Actually, I would if you're not afraid to build things, I would just build one because it's not going to be any it's not going to perform bad. This isn't one of those things where it's like you should learn how to build hardware. It's more the ones that are sold on Amazon and stuff. They tend to just be kind of cheaply made. It seems like they're not the greatest builds ever. Like they just use the lowest quality battery possible and. But they still work. You just don't want one starting on fire in your pocket. Yeah, I mean, you could build them probably without much solder. You probably wouldn't even have to solder anything. It's probably like snap together. Another good alternative to, let me get the actual device name. Alternative to flipper. This isn't going to do any radio stuff like this will, but it's called the M5 Stack Card Pewter. It's like a development kit. Let me try and find a link that's not on Amazon. Yeah, okay, so it looks like this. And they're super cheap. And yeah, you have all this. You have a lot of different ins and outs. And they could do all sorts of funky things. A lot of people just make like little hacking devices that kind of does the same thing that a Flipper Zero. Not the same thing. It's sort of the same area of working as the Flipper Zero. It's maybe like a step up. That and the Hack RF Portapack. And the Portapack should be cheap now too. It shouldn't be. I remember at one point, I think during COVID, they were going for like many hundreds of dollars, and now you could probably get it for $250 or something. Maybe less, probably 100 something. Let's get on that.
10 p.m. through Monday. Slight chance for thunderstorms returns from Tuesday onward. Severe weather is not anticipated. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. The current time is 7:45 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, the Flipper's fun. I don't have the Wi-Fi board thing for it just because a lot of the. I mean, God, I even have the. If you've ever heard of the Ponagachi, that thing's fun too. It's like a little Raspberry Pi Nano or whatever it's called, to the small Raspberry Pi, and then has a little e-ink display. And I mean, you can make this for like probably $50 tops, and it kind of automates the de-authing and handshake cracking of wireless networks, which is kind of fun. I don't know if you're actually going to be able to crack into any Wi-Fi networks with it, but I feel like every demo of it I've ever seen, somebody just like assembles it and shows you how to load the software, and then they're like, yeah, and it's awesome. You could like get into any Wi-Fi network, and then they don't actually demonstrate that happening. Data time. Oh, beautiful. Lanin. Yeah, God, what else? I have so many of these stupid gadgets everywhere. It's like, yeah, ultimately, one of the, oh, you know what? I could show you this now. This is I have a box full of stuff for a video that I am unable to do for legal reasons. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Oh my God, this thing's so heavy. Look at this thing. This is a prototype of a noise jammer that just jams noise. To put it in a it jams microphones. I'm actually a little scared to turn it on in here. Just because it could damage microphones. It's a prototype that I had made. That's kind of scary. It runs on so much power that it kind of stinks when you turn it on. You kind of like smell hot plastic. Pretty intimidating stuff. And it runs on 24 volts, of course. And then the other thing, the other show and tell thing in here. Oh, this one's going to be really heavy. This can, I should just full screen this at this point and maybe not listen to this god-awful noise. This is a prototype. All of these are different antennas. And this essentially can, that one row can jam drones and Wi-Fi signals and cell phone signals and Bluetooth signals and all that stuff. It just kind of broad spectrally jams everything. But it's aimed for drones. And then this side can insert radio waves over the blocked radio waves so a drone will pick it, if that makes any sense. So if I'm flying a drone, I could turn this on mode 1 and it'll jam it and it'll essentially de-auth the drone. And then mode 2, the drone will pick up a wave that is essentially repeating the initial wave. It's kind of like the adversarial noise stuff that you see on this channel so much with the license plates and the music and all. It's kind of that same thing, but for radio waves. And the point of it is to make drones go home or crash or do something that they're not meant to do. And of course, this is work for that. I finally finished the contract, so I don't have to be completely secret about it. But this is work for Ukraine. So these things can be on the ground. I don't know if they're going to be deployed or not, but it's a way where you could just deploy. You could put one of those up in a tree connected to an external battery or something like that, and once it's detected, you could just reroute a drone. But of course, they're using fiber now with a lot of Russia and Ukraine. They're using like 2-3 miles of fiber line on drones. But of course, if you're using a fiber line, then you have to actually be around the drone. You can't just send one on a remote GPS mission to go kill a bunch of people. So, and one of the reasons that I did this, I did this for a good. I did this because I don't want people to die from drones, from fucking DJI drones exploding next to their head when they're trying to eat dinner in Ukraine. But the reason I stopped doing it is because, long story, but Brave One and some of the Ukraine is trying to raise money from tech to help them move forward and continue to be able to fight for their independence. But I'm really scared about that because it's I don't want this being used to I don't want this technology to be reused in a way that ends up being sold to, fucking Russia or Iran or something like that. VCs scare me in this. But I don't really know what the right or wrong is. I just think maybe not working in any sort of war any war technology is probably a better option. Everybody's kind of freaking out about Daniel Ek investing so much money taking money from Spotify and investing it in AI weapons. And I'll tell you this on stream. I don't know enough about it to make an actual video about it or any sort of huge public statement. But from what I've sussed out, he is investing in mostly AI tech that is currently being developed and used in Ukraine for defense against Russia. I mean, I think the guy looks like a fucking egg and sucks and has, almost single-handedly ruined music. But if we're being fair, I don't really have a problem with him I could think of a lot of worse places where he's investing his money or where he could be investing his money. Yeah, I think what I want to get into is weapons, is just reselling weapons. You know, that'd be a good industry to get into. Um, you know the guy, what's that movie, War Dogs? You know, one of those guys ended up getting out of prison and then making the Beat Buddy. Does anybody know about that? It's pretty fucking crazy. Like, a long time ago in the beginning of this channel, I did a video on the Beat Buddy, and I got some weird comments that were like, "It kind of sucks that you're making a video for a war profiteer." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, you moron?" And then I actually looked it up and was like, "Holy fuck! It's one of those guys. He got out of prison and like took his, I don't know if he bootstrapped it with the money that he made off of illegally selling weapons between countries and selling counterfeit weapons to the U.S. military. But the Beat Buddy's pretty cool, so props. Yep. Yeah. Let me get a browser tab open here so I could at least back up what I'm saying. This is the Beat Buddy. I wonder if we have any sort of like news about the return shipping. I feel like they may have removed any sort of about us for that reason. Maybe they got something. I mean, I feel like enough time has passed to where you could kind of feel like a badass for ripping off the U.S. military now. Yeah, they must have they must have had a publicist be like, "Hey." Also, I do want to say, I want to be honest here and say that everybody who I've spoken to from Singular is like ridiculously nice and cool and generous. You know what happened with Singular? Before I found any of this out, I bought my dad a Beat Buddy. I got one for the channel, and I emailed them about one for, and this is like when I had like 10,000 subs or something, and I emailed them about I was like, hey, I want to buy my dad this one, and I just had some sort of question because I didn't want to get my dad one that was like too complicated or too under featured or whatever, and they just sent one. I was like, whoa, cool, thanks. They sent me the MIDI Maestro as well, which sucks. It's a little kind of beta version, not beta like I'm alpha and this is beta, but sort of beta version. Beat Buddy's cool, and the Eros, this thing's just underpowered, but it is probably the most powerful looper out there. But I just hate screens, and I mean that's such a good, I don't know. There's too much. I feel like loopers need to not rely on any level of menu diving memory because the whole premise of it exists on being able to perform live. Yeah, they don't have any sort of our story. They're dedicated to pushing boundaries, though. I'm reading these comments. Yeah. Oh, hey, Mike. How are you? God, I'm trying to remember the name. Let's see. Let's see if we could find a Singular Sound owner. There he is. This is the guy. Packhouse joined Ephraim Deveroy and Deveroy's arms company. By the end of 2006, the company had won 149 contracts worth $10.5 million. In early 27, AEY secured nearly $300 million U.S. government contract to supply the Afghan army with 100 million rounds of AK-47 ammunition, aviation rockets, and other munitions. The ammunition that AEE was secured in Albania to fulfill the contract had originally come from China, violating the terms of the contract, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so arms dealing, we got all this. And then personal life In 2016, Packhouse company Singular Sound started a philanthropic partnership with a nonprofit organization, Guitars Over Guns, to provide Beat Buddy equipment to disadvantaged youth. That's just, I mean, whatever. You gotta, that's rad, but it's also, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Uli Behringer. I want to give 1,000 synthesizers to children, to underprivileged children, which, I mean, I'm a fan of, and I'm glad that he did. But I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, I wonder what kids these are, and I wonder which ones are gonna eat their synthesizers, because or defend themselves. Like, does this Deep Mind synth stop bullets? Because I'm gonna need those first. Yeah, but anyway, interesting. Yeah, but okay, I can't, it's funny, it's surreal, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, he did something shitty. He served his time. Well, whatever. He served his 7 months house arrest. I thought he went to prison. Didn't I read that somewhere? Yeah, okay. Oh, he's sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. Yes, and then was sentenced to 7 months. All right, all right, got it. So, okay, he stayed at home for 7 months. Thought, you know what? Pedals and drums should be the same thing, and then made it happen. That's pretty rad. I mean, what do you expect him to do? Just like he did something positive. He made a small company. Next video idea I'm planning out now is on Infrasound, not the music festival, but on the actual thing, which is so hard to do. Infrasound sucks. It's especially coming from ultrasound, because like when I was doing the bird stuff, I could like get the ultrasonic microphone and be like, all right, got the bird call, and then stretch it out and have like, an hour of content on that little thing that I could pick out the best of. And Infrasound, I have to record a day of for just one clip, and then I also have to do camera stuff, and time lapse is great and all, but geez, when it goes for that long, and when you're in like, I really needed to get a control so I know what the earth sounds like without any sort of man-made stuff, because most infrasound that you hear is noise pollution. So I went to the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. It's one of the most remote places in the country. Badlands National Park. It was kind of near an expressway, but that was a good like middle ground. And then Yellowstone, some of the most remote parts of Yellowstone, which is very, very, for anybody who's ever been to the parts of Yellowstone that aren't on the main road, it's pretty wild there. And so setting all this stuff up on a volcanic caldera, it's just like a little exhausting, but that's also why as I mentioned earlier, I was in a train yard, airports, and this all started because I made this microphone out of a seismograph. That it's like a seismograph for seismologists, and I modified a microphone in a way where through a program you could convert it to Pascals. You could essentially make it convert into sound waves and look at a spectrogram of all this stuff. The problem is that you can't, sometimes you see infrasonic microphones that go down to 9 hertz, 5 hertz, and they're just like little mics. They're not actually picking up infrasound at that, because the normal microphone diaphragm doesn't work at that level. You actually have to have a seismograph. So that was a huge challenge. And when I finally got that working, it's on right now. I could literally look at the data right now. It runs 24 hours a day here. So I'll stop talking if I'm boring anybody with this, because it gets pretty deep. But I guess if it's going to be a YouTube video, I should probably probably see how interesting it is. So I left it on for 24 hours a day for a long time, and it's accessible via. I could look at a little browser page for it, or I usually just SSH it on my phone, and and when I finally got it to convert to audio and speed it up, I was like, what the fuck is this noise? this is insane. Like there's this whole symphony of noise happening under my studio and home here in the middle of nowhere. And so I just started kind of, it freaked me out. And I was even like sending, I was like consistently showing it to my partner, and she's like, stop showing this stuff to me. It's freaking me the hell out. Like, you know, these rumbles and tones and crazy things happening at 3 a.m. And then there's also things that like happen every, 25 minutes. There's a sound that lasts for 1 minute, and you see these when you speed everything up and you can hear them. And, and so it really creeped me out. And I started like trying to solve the puzzles of what's causing these things. And it's like, okay, so even when my HVAC's not on, there's still a pump that tries to remove water condensation from it. Okay, I didn't know that existed. That must be what's creating that rumble. Okay, so maybe somebody turned on their water in the middle of the night down the mountain, and the water traveled through, so picking all these things up. And so, yeah, that just got me thinking, like, holy shit, when you remove the time series entirely from sound, then you're picking up all these unheard things that are actually quite valuable when you think about it. Like if you, I did one in a wind farm, for example, and it's like infrasonic energy being detected, or infrasound being detected in a wind farm means that it's not running at full efficiency, meaning that there's something you could probably do to dampen that and harness the energy a little bit better to increase the turbine speed. Anyway, right. So all this is all this working on. And then at one point on this trip, I started just looking at some of this data, and I was just like, fuck, like this may actually, the things that I was thinking about doing is, if I were, anybody who's like tuning in this stream right now and they just see this crazy ass white screen with, they probably think it's like responding to my voice or something. So I thought to myself, okay, if I'm, so I did this whole hum video, and throughout the entire thing, I was like, I wish I could record infrasound. I was using a seismograph, and I was even using like little vibration sensors on top of dry, unlubricated condoms, on top of like pots and pans. And this thing, you could just put like an SD card in it, and it just records vibration. And it was like, okay, maybe that could give me some hint, but it wasn't very accurate, obviously, but it at least told me where like rumbles were happening a little bit more. It made me think like, all right, what if in these areas, these hot spots where the hum's happening a lot, what if I was able to, now that I'm able to record this audio, now I can replay it on a special type of subwoofer, which is massive and sitting out there in my hallway, and I trip trying to get around it every single time I go to the bathroom. What if I'm able to recreate that in a controlled environment? So what if I'm able to bring that thing to NAM and put it in a hotel suite, and just, anytime a fan comes up to me or says, hey, you gotta take a picture, I'll just be like, all right, you come to my hotel suite, book an hour. I want you to be part of a control group. It worked at NobCon for the sonic weapon. Just sort of being like, hey, nice to meet you. Can I shoot a sonic weapon at you? So that's sort of what I'm thinking about that. Serious question. How much energy could be recaptured from vibrations well below the audible spectrum? Isn't it at scale it matters thing? Converting sound into energy depends on the mechanism, right? So years ago, I did this experiment where I was trying to capture sound by, all sorts of ways, like blowing a windmill from the sound from the Helmholtz resonator. I think that's ultimately how I got the most energy out of sound. It took Christmas ornaments, which are tiny little, not meant to be, but they actually are Helmholtz resonators, which are like, imagine a Christmas ornament, a standard ball with a tube on the top. if you vibrate glass or anything that's of that size, of that shape, if you vibrate the resonant frequency of it, it blows air out. And it was enough to blow air out to spin a little tiny wind turbine, which then could light an LED based off the sound. Because I was trying to figure out, like, you know, sound takes so much energy. So sound is not very efficient as it is. It's, but generally, yeah, it's just different. It depends on the mechanism. It's a hard question to answer with a straightforward, oh, you know, this much sound for this much energy. It really just depends on the mechanism. And then sound pressure waves are also so contingent on environmental factors like air and temperature and stuff. So like dramatically, for example, I love that I'm doing this on my streaming channel, by the way, having this conversation, because I have these conversations in real life where people ask me questions like that or like stuff, but they're not aware of my YouTube channel at all. And I just sound like a liar. I'm just like, yeah, so I actually took a pressure chamber and put microphones in it and simulated the top of Mount Everest to see how much the volume reduced. I did do that, and it was a fun experiment. And there's a video about it. It's one of my least watched ones because I feel like nobody really cares how sound sounds on top of Mount Everest. But the point being, that was like a pretty significant drop in decibels, which would mean that it would be a pretty significant drop in energy just from changing your altitude by a lot. Anyway. Yeah, tapping seismic waves. Well, yeah, and you think about, like, the thing with infrasound, right, is the sound itself, the pressure waves itself probably isn't transmitting that much energy, but think about like an earthquake and think about the energy that is shaking the entire building. Like, what if you were to dampen that? I don't know. This isn't like my pitch to like get energy from sound. This is more my pitch to just, was it Mercedes or BMW? Some company had figured out, so it was I think it must have been BMW. I remember seeing a German guy talking about this, a German engineer, saying that they figured out something with like the BMW engine by analyzing the sound, like just because it was too loud. So they knew something was inefficient with it. And they were just using acoustics to figure out, you know, how it could be made more efficient, and, you know, efficiency, not necessarily meaning gas mileage efficiency, but just, you know, more power. Yeah, it's funny, the videos that like, it's funny that video just did awfully. So did the getting power from sound video, but then like, I have some videos that are like way out there, like the simulating the speed of light so sound travels backwards, so you hear sound in reverse, like shit like that. That's like very real, but you know, I didn't think anybody was going to watch that. And sure enough, that video did quite well for the time. Yeah, and, you know, again, like with things resonating, that really changes. I mean, yeah, that obviously makes some huge changes with how sound is. I feel like if I'm going to be doing this, I should be up in the gigas, just if I'm using the SDR RTL, or RTL SDR rather. These tiny little ham bands up here. Just a bunch of pigs playing music. This tiny ham band. I don't think I could go that high. It's pretty, how high I don't actually know what the range of this thing is. Well, we're getting this. Let's turn the old squelch down. I feel like I should need to plug up the shortwave antenna. I feel like we're at that part of the stream now, but let's hear this. Nothing. Ooh. I feel like this is probably some device. Huh. feel like you could hear it the most raw in the upper side bit. Upper side. Oh, never mind. I was hearing the noise blinker. Yeah, that might be Bluetooth or something. And usually, like, a modern Bluetooth device will kind of hop different channels. Now it really makes me want to turn on the jammer, but I also don't want to lose the stream because I'm pretty sure it would just... Yeah, all right. All right. Let me find a good station to pause on while I hook up that shortwave antenna to the...
Runway 1432 closed for parking of aircraft. Use caution for wildlife. Fulton County Tower 8 is information November. Time 2353 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 27. 2.17. Temperature 3000. Expect a visual approach. Runway 26 is in use. NOTAMs. Runway 1432, taxiway Alpha and taxiway Bravo. Lights are out of
Cougar, yeah, so you can capture Bluetooth frequencies and then repeat them. But yeah, I mean, I think Bluetooth is probably the most it's very easy to de-auth Bluetooth low, the low power version of Bluetooth. But yeah, Bluetooth is like kind of, it's like the worst stack ever. Like it just seems like they just, it seems like it was written on like sloppy code, and then that sloppy code was just updated over and over again. Are we on the RTL here? Okay.
Runway 1432 closed for parking of aircraft. Use caution for wildlife around the airport. Read back runway hold short instructions to include the runway number. Advise on initial contact. You have information.
This dude sounds so nice.
Fulton County Tower 8 is information November. Time 2353 Zulu.
All right.
Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 27.
I will be right back. I'm going to hook up the shortwave antenna.
00. Expect a visual approach. Runway 26 is in use. NOTAMs. Runway 1432, taxiway Alpha and taxiway Bravo. Lights are out of service. Runway 1432 closed for parking of aircraft. Use caution for wildlife around the airport. Read back runway hold short instructions to include the runway number. Advise on initial contact. You have information November. Fulton County Tower 8 is information November. Time 2353 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 27. 2.17. Temperature 3000.
Okay.
Runway 26 is in use. NOTAMs. Runway 1432, taxiway Alpha and taxiway Bravo. Lights are out of service.
I'm going to close this and just switch over to the SDR Sharp, which I think just is a more official version. It only runs with this radio, though. So, but it uses the same database and everything else. There we go. We're live. Okay, so So shortwave is going to be much lower here. I don't want to load the FM right away because it'll just play music and get me copyrighted. Damn. Oh, it's still using... That's stupid. I'm sorry. It's not actually using the... It's still using the old... It's not using the device that it's made to be using. I was wondering why it's not getting as much. All right, now let's hear it.
Barry, and I 1,000% agree with you. And
yeah, I was like, I'm hearing nothing. This sucks.
Myself, I hadn't even more to start. I was in a situation that was under 30 below zero and had to keep alive and stuff like that. But anyway, no, you're dead on. You know, and everything you're saying is correct. Different avenues to keep you warm enough that you don't freeze to death. And especially with super cold temperatures.
So creepy.
These gentlemen have passed, so somebody's doing a lot of cleanup right now, obviously, and I think that's what's bringing it all to light.
I think they're also doing a lot of work of trying to come up with some changes on that Father Time Award, because the way it is now, it's impossible to get it in D8L.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Homer. I've needed one in that 2500 series for probably a year now, or I would have it for 40 meter, which is actually quite an accomplishment if I could do it. But
by the way, all anybody on ham talks about is their radio.
That's what I need. I need two in that range. Yeah, that's the tough one.
Good evening, Mr. Homer, W2UA.
W2UA, hello, Mr. Paul, and D8L.
How are you this evening, sir?
I'm beepy. Feeling very beepy. Well, he died.
¿Cómo está todo por allá? Kilo Delta 2 Tango Gol Zulu. Me saluda ahí a este muchacho ahí que está al lado tuyo hasta... Espérate.
I really want to play more No Man's Sky.
¿Tú te mudaste de Reyes, Luis?
Like, it's been a long time since I played it, and I mean, it was early game, and it was right when they when they released the update with the economy, and oh yeah, these things. One day we're gonna figure out how to properly decrypt these. But in the meantime, we just need to make wavetables out of them. Oh, that's terrifying. Nice subs. Can I get a CB radio for my truck today that doesn't require an antenna that makes car wash is impossible. Well, you're not going to have many people to talk to on it. They're not that active. But honestly, if you go to like truck stops like TNA, Pilot, stuff like that, sometimes they have them like behind the glass. And I mean, I just saw a bunch that were like 70% off just because not that many people are using them. As far as the antenna goes, just get a magnetic antenna. I mean, I have 2 giant magnetic antennas on my van, and you could just pop them off real fast. I can absolutely vouch for them because at this point I've had them on my car for a trip to South Florida, back up to Atlanta, which is like 24 hours of driving, and then I just did probably 35, maybe 4,000 miles in the last 3 weeks with them, and no issues. 80 miles an hour, high winds, crazy areas. So, if you wanted something in your car to break up boredom, I would absolutely recommend the SDS 100. It's a little pricey, but once you learn, it's a little pricey and a little annoying to learn how to use. But in terms of just scanning and listening to like the reality show that goes on, that's a great option. And it mounts. I have a little cup holder mount for it. It works fine. Oh, wait, let's go back to AM here. Whoa. I forgot I have a listen info box here. So this is Prague. And then what's this?
Forum Radio. Hey folks, have you seen SpiritDaily.com and its amazing and mysterious news stories? SpiritDaily.com has testimonies about miracles, articles about strange...
Oh my God, influencer ads for
the Christian angle
cults.
to current events, news, science, spiritual, and even physical health. Also, read SpiritDaily.com as accounts of the supernatural, demonic, preternatural.
So the SDS 100 is a trunking radio that has its own database. Basically, if you got the SDS 100, I mean, you could probably find it used for like $4.99 or something. It's been around for a while, and they just updated the software with like a waterfall feature similar to this that looks nowhere near this pretty or useful. But yeah, the SDS 100 or 200 would mount in your car. You could buy like another antenna for it that's a little bit nicer for like $30. You can, and another thing that you could do is you could plug in a GPS, just like a $20 GPS module, and that will automatically update all of the data, like, because it has a nationwide database in it, but it's obviously not going to load California radio stations when you're in New York. But you could either punch in a zip code, or if you're driving, it'll just automatically update it with the GPS, which is pretty rad. I mean, that's like, it's a good dive if you like want a good usable scanner that scans everything from business to police to aviation. If you are more interested in like what we're doing now in this part of the stream, and you want a piece of hardware, one of the Malahit, it's called like MALAHIT. They're essentially this. It's like an SDR in one little box, and they're really, really powerful. They're really awesome, and they're fun. I recommend those too. You would just need an auxiliary in if you wanted to play it on your car system.
For this 7 months to the very day since her death. So it's only partially sunk in. I'm still getting used to this idea that she's no longer with us. But she was a great, really, when you come right down to it, she's the one who began the program. And I kind of tagged along because I was working full-time at the time, and I just didn't have a lot of time to devote to her. So pretty much she did everything except read some of the articles. I just did that.
Is he talking about a person?
I can really devote myself to a lot of kind words, and as I say, if you just want to write to me, that's certainly fine. I try my best to answer everything that comes to me and to thank people for donations. If I leave you out, it's not intentional, and I will try to get you the very next time. I'll send out thank yous. Well, let's get back to some of these other things. We've had a lot of nasty stuff come out since Charlie Kirk's assassination. Seems like all the little creatures are crawling out from under the rocks. Here's something from the Gateway Pundit. Texas is not one to put up with a lot of evil. And this article,
trying to figure out where this is headed.
Pundit, authored by Jim Hoff, who writes a great deal of the good things on the Gateway Pundit, says over 100 radical leftist teachers in Texas will have their certificates suspended and face permanent ban from public schools after celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination and calling for more violence. Unbelievable. And the article says more than 100 Texas educators are now facing the end of their teaching careers after posting vile, hateful.
I don't know. I feel like he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna be MAGA, but.
Governor Greg Abbott announced on Sunday that the Texas Educational Agency, TEA, has begun investigations into teachers who cheered Kirk's murder and even incited additional violence online. And this is a little interjecting. It's not limited to Texas, of course, but this one article showed that the governor was not putting up with this. I hope other governors will do the same, or other school boards and so on. We've heard stories, I'm sure you have too, about those rejoicing in Kirk's death, making his wife a widow, making his children orphans. It's just despicable. And it's not limited to apparently just a few radicals. I wish it were. But here we have teachers. I was a teacher for over 40 years. I can't believe that my fellow teachers would have done this. Just can't believe it.
I was a teacher for over 40 years before the scandal. Okay, I ain't playing music anymore on these because the last time I did, every radio stream I've had has been demonetized for some weird alien song that. You can really identify Queen with like 100 milliseconds of. All right. Wow. Is this actually coming from? Man, North Korean sounds crazy. It's crazy. This language is so weird.
That's why I like that high voltage, man. You get real good gain out of them babies, like 8877.
Well, this one should give me, according, doing the 1.414 and then figuring your voltage drop. I should be able to get, actually, I could have probably won a third bulb, I don't know, but it'll give me 5 amps at 6.
That's the bottom of my list. So we have any late check-ins, 10 minutes.
Number 126, 126, Grant.
Well, 100 mils will last you probably just fine.
Very chatty night with Ham, but then again, I always forget that I have this massive antenna.
You have to go out to the garden, right? And rake all the pebbles and things that are come up to the top. And get
There's also little sort of pattern through there.
All right, the big medium wave.
You have had 6.
There's always more context there.
They're coming. I spoke to a number of people who are very concerned about what was going on in Hong Kong. There's this bringing of the seminarians and the priests and the nuns from Hong Kong to China to undergo this kind of Sinization seminars, so to speak. They've even changed the text of Scripture. It's a form of apostasy that's being foisted upon the people.
The full Arroyo Grande Prayerful Posse interview with Gordon Chang and...
The Prayerful Posse.
Conference in which we've read text messages that are so fulsome, so robust, so apparently, allegedly self-incriminating, and yet on the other hand, so touching, right? With the suspect reaching out to his roommate, who is allegedly his boyfriend, who we understand, identified
it like 3 times without my notes. It's 888-813-2947. That's 888-8.
All expressions of the power of the enemy. That's a phenomenal statement. Now that may be, that power can be expressed through all of the things available to us. When we were praying our way through COVID, we said the deliverance would most likely be expressed through health.
National Nonprofit Collective.
The crazy world of Longwave. We're going to get that time signal. Actually, how come we're not getting a time signal? I was relying on the time signal out in the middle of nowhere to sync up all my cameras and stuff.
Appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you. I was thinking about, of course, I've followed Charlie for years, and
oh my God, there's like an entire radio network of Charlie Kirk nonsense.
Had a first day up here, but it got sort of hot.
No, it's not an FM radio. It's the seminary I want you to listen to is actually upper sideband. It's very hardcore. But we may have to go back to this with Trump pulling all the licenses of the networks. I'm down with that. Here we go. Yeah, what's going on here? Kind of spy shit's going on. Oh, this is the Canadian time station. It's there. We have AM, which is amplitude modulation. We have FM, which is frequency modulation, both narrow FM and wide FM. Lower sideband, dual sideband, upper sideband, and raw. And obviously your AM radio is only like maybe this much, and here we have, we can kind of scan all the waves. So these are shortwave, which is not as active as usual, but this is only one shortwave band. This one's much more active.
Now, I should interject.
I'm not sure what the frequency sweeps are. I don't think they're blocking, but yeah, I'm not sure. I assume they're data that's just like crossing over, and it's probably international. I love this sound so much. It's so weird.
Glendale, California, 912.
You see, God gave Israel a bill of divorcement. God had no recourse.
I don't know if I can really reach any of them from here. It's weird because that's like one of my favorite things, and I never really, once I got further into like the SDR world. Let's see if there are any big ones. Because it depends whether it's day or night, how the radio.
I had put her away.
Let's see.
And given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom, lightness, frivolity, treated it as though nothing, of her whoredom.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find one.
Algorithms and ChatGPT, OpenAI, all of these things to advance them rapidly, saying if we don't, we're going to lose our position in the world. Which is more important, to lose your position in the world of state of things or in your relationship with the Lord?
That was the nation that was before you, and whoever shall do any of these abominations,
Oh no.
even the souls that do them
It's
shall be cut
Yahweh.
off from among their people. Therefore you shall keep my charge that you practice not any of these abominable customs.
Not claiming.
Today's world is like a pressure cooker. The stress is increasing from every side.
Voice of Turkey. Cairo.
Now, how can I come back from vacation and not play some Jolly Black? He's encountered as you take up your cross and follow Christ. Right.
Working out in the world and
Pretty. I think it's just a cool shape. Oop, here comes one of the big sweeps. This is Brazil.
World, pod people are
Yeah, this is time.
hours, 59 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
I'm going to listen to this in bed.
At the dome, 1 hour, 0 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time. National Institute of Standards and Technology time. This is radio station WWB, Fort Collins, Colorado, broadcasting on internationally allocated standard carrier frequencies of 2.5, 5, 10, 15, and 20 megahertz, providing time of day.
Let's hear you on 20 then, buddy. Yep. This is the frequency that tells you what time it is exactly, which is really important when you're trying to record infrasound in the middle of nowhere. It's good to be able to pick up a frequency like this, because obviously you don't have your cell phone and GPSs aren't always that accurate. Yeah, I really dig this one.
Coordinated Universal Time.
I want to see how far off tune it is. Yeah, it's hard to get a
November 15, 2021, will be broadcasting a test show on Minneapolis Shower on WWV and Minute 48 on WWVH. This signal has been created to assist in ionosphere research, and it is running efforts of ham radio citizen science investigation and NIST. The signal consists of various sounds, chirps, and noise bursts. The signal will be broadcast separately. For more information on ham science and the WWVH project, please visit www.ham.com/WWV.
Yeah, it's nice. Oh, we switched tones. Now we can only play in major. Yeah, it's a good. Like, let's see if it's. Let's see how well this syncs up to it. 60 BPM metronome. All right, checks out. Triplets. Come on, 160. Actual frequency question. Since metronomes sync, would a digital one like what you just pulled up on the Sparkies eventually sync? Or do they have to be local? Everything drifts a little bit, but wow. Look at that nice design there. It's like, look, that's your antenna. Well, anyway. That was fun. It's a good stream. Radio streams are fun. They also get me to like hook stuff up and learn more. I really want to get into video. I really want to watch analog television. That's my dream. And I also want to hack live air displays and stuff like that. Well, anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. I don't think I'll have a video out by next week, but I will have a stream out. I wanted to check out the Baby Audio. Oh, what the hell is it called? I keep forgetting. I keep referring to it. Baby Audio Techno. I wanted to check out the Baby Audio Techno, actually, today, on today's stream. And for some reason, well, you know, not going to lie, I immediately checked it out and was like, I wonder if they just added it to my account because I'm a big, important influencer person. But when signing in, it made me reset my password because who knows, maybe they were breached or something. I have no idea. I don't think they were breached, but made me reset my password, or it made me, you know, just get my password from or verify my email, and I never got the verification. So I was just like, well, I either pirate it or see if it's in my account or buy it, and I just decided to do the radio thing instead. We all remember what happened with Serum, with my little piracy debacle there. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is fun. I want to do more stuff like this in the future. Another thing that I'm doing in the future, probably more hardware, because my hardware table right now is a bunch of soldering insanity, as you've probably seen in my videos, and I'm moving that to its own soldering insanity table so I could use it for hardware streams, which is the initial point of the entire thing. I'm also hiring people to help with things around here, so hopefully that'll make me a little bit less crazy. If you're a member of the Discord, do check out the forums. There's a post about it on the Patreon now too. We're just starting them out, but if you're not into Discord, that's also a cool place to chat about things in a more less time sensitive manner. How do we feel about their plugins as a whole? I'm not opposed to, conflicted about the subscribe to own system. I'm totally happy with subscribe to own. In fact, I just consulted with the company today, and they brought up the possibilities of a subscribe to own, a rent to own model. Not moving away from, you know, they're still going to sell their things outright, but they're sort of feeling me out on how I felt about that. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, it's great. Okay, as long as it costs the same, then sure, do it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm down. Yeah, well, thank you. Unfortunately, I don't think we have incredible perks, but well, I mean, we have a Minecraft server. Speaking of anybody who's still playing Minecraft server, or anybody who's in that part of that community, if you're sick of Minecraft, let me know. I'll switch the game up. Happy to launch a different server. Happy to rent out a standalone server if y'all want to configure it for however you want. But yeah, just let me know things like that, and I'm happy to just sign up something and give away the keys. I like experimenting with things in this community. Too bad we can't have like one big songwriting server. Soon enough, though. There is a service that might come out soon that might help with that. Yeah, Mud. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be fun to get an emulator of a of one of those old BBS systems or something. That'd be fun. And maybe we could run it all over radio waves. We won't even need the internet. Actually, we should have a decentralized something. We need to work on that. I need to sleep too, though. Like, in general. Like, I just need more than 3 hours a night of sleep before I could take anything else on. But that's why I'm hiring people. All right, I'm actually going to leave now. Speaking of sleep, I plan on getting some eventually. Thanks for watching. This is fun. Always fun to scan the airwaves with y'all, and I will see you next week with some sort of fun and games happening. Okay, bye.